Hello everybody, it is the Law Gnome and welcome back to another Funko Pop update over here on my channel. If you are new, let me just say welcome. It's a pleasure to have you, and for all of you returning, I'm sure you're excited about what's going on in the wonderful world of Funko. There has been a great deal of things being announced in terms of new lines and new possible waves of stuff that has already been made, as well as new lines that have not come out at all just yet. But what I really appreciate that I've been noticing in 2024 is that the community has truly stepped up to give the fans as much information as possible in regards to any new Funko products, especially considering the fact that we're heading into 2025, and this specific product that Funko has given us has still been on the market to this very day since 2011, so longevity is definitely here. I don't care if you compare it to the Beanie Babies, this is definitely a product that is standing the test of time and is definitely here to stay for a little while longer. There's been a lot of interesting announcements as well as a couple of things that I am not too thrilled about, but I'm not going to get into those details today because I recently had the opportunity to get together with my dear friends Cammie and Gina and have another great discussion about Funko and what's been going on with Funko in 2024. And let me just say we went over a lot of news as well as some of the new lines that had been coming out throughout this year. And more importantly, the fact that 2024 turned out to be a major collecting year for us in particular. We've been seeing ourselves purchasing more Pops and more Funko products in a very long time than we have in the last couple of years. So I would really appreciate if you took a look at that video. I'll provide a link in the box below because that's where all the information and the details are going to be. So for now, let's take a look at how my collection has been going. So the theme for today's collection update I would like to refer to as Fall Part 1, because when you think about fall, Halloween, of course, comes to mind, and Halloween is not going to be for another month. So before we get into all the Halloween stuff, let's really focus on all the other major things that we think about when it comes to fall. Football, going back to school, pumpkin spice lattes, the air getting cooler, that's also what fall is all about. So I wanted to present some very interesting fall-themed pops for you. Now, they may not look it, but believe it or not, there is a fall theme for all of them. So the first group of things that I want to go over here in this collection update are my Funko sodas. These actually, I think, are going to be the very last two Funko sodas that I ever add to my collection because I think the line is officially done for. But the Peanuts, when you think of Charlie Brown and the gang, you think of a lot of fall stuff. You think about the Great Pumpkin, you think about football, and you think about all of those great holiday specials, whether it's the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown, a Charlie Brown Thanksgiving, going all the way into the Christmas special. It's all done within the confines of fall. Even the Christmas special is talked about during the fall. So these specific sodas were actually introduced in an entire Funko exclusive case. There were other Peanuts characters that were part of that set. It was Lucy, Peppermint Patty, Snoopy, and Woodstock, but I didn't really care for the others. I specifically loved the Charlie Brown and Linus. The details looked absolutely perfect, and I was fortunate enough to actually get these two sodas on eBay from the same person who was selling them for a very decent price for both, and they are perfect. I mean, I love the Charlie Brown. I mean, I love the illustration on the mouth. It looks exactly like he came out of the comic strip or one of the cartoons. And of course, you have his yellow shirt with the big black stripe as well as those patented brown shoes. Absolutely perfect. And of course, the two little hairs coming out of the back of his head. And of course, each soda came with a disc. This is a common. It was 1 out of 12,500. I saw his chase. It was him with a baseball hat, and it really wasn't something that I cared about. I wanted the commons for both Charlie Brown and Linus because I thought they were wonderful. And of course, the Linus Van Pelt, the red shirt, the black lines for his hair, his nervous face, especially those two lines on the sides of the eyes. That is a patented Schultz creation. And of course, he's holding his blanket in panic. There's a little part that droops all the way behind his arm. And of course, he has his own disc as well, and it is also 1 out of 12,500. These are 2 excellent sodas. The cans are great too. If these are to be my very last ones, I would be very happy about that because I didn't have any Peanuts pieces in my collection except for the 2 Snoopies. I have the original Snoopy and Snoopy on his doghouse. I mean, I know that there was a great Linus in the pumpkin patch for the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown. There's going to be a Funko Pop of Charlie Brown with that little Christmas tree with the big red ornament on it, but I'm not going to get those. These are the Peanuts for me, and I am so glad to have these sodas in my collection. And my soda collection is also relatively small. I only have a total of 9. And my wife actually has 2 of them, so that makes our collection 11. So, regardless, I'm very happy with this, and farewell to soda if this is in fact the last one. So then we go into the world of football when I found out that they were going to be making an Aaron Rodgers in a Jets jersey. Regardless of what has been said about him after his first season as a Jet, you know, the man persists and the man is back. Hopefully, he will have a good season. So knowing that there was going to be a Funko Pop of another Jet, and the fact that it was going to be Aaron Rodgers, well, I was excited because I never thought I would ever actually have an Aaron Rodgers in my collection. And I also love the design. Of course, it's in the current Jets uniform. I love the details on the helmet. He's holding it by his side. Of course, I always make a joke about these types of pops. It's like, how is that helmet gonna fit on this head? And I also love the turf underneath his feet. I love the texture of it. And of course, when we turn him around, you have his number and his name in the back of the jersey. This is a great pop. And again, because of the fact that it is my team, I have to pick it up because I wouldn't be a true Jets fan and Funko Pop collector if I didn't actually have all of the pieces. Now, I know that there also was a new Joe Namath, and it was him with his helmet on in a running pose with the football, but to be fair, I got the original Joe Namath, and I don't need to double up. There are only small amounts of occurrences where I do double up, and there are good reasons for the doubling up, hence all the Batmans, all the Supermans, all the Spider-Mans. There are reasons for that. But also, going back to school, that is another major fall theme. And when I heard that there was going to be a pop ride of the oxen and wagon from the famed legendary video game Oregon Trail, you know, that screams school to me, because that is a game that we, at least in my generation, we all played that game in school. We also know about the history of the Oregon Trail. So knowing that there was going to be a Funko Pop of this video game, and also the fact that it was going to be 8-bit, I was extremely impressed and excited. So let's take a look at this piece. You gotta be a little bit careful because the oxen and the wagon do wobble a bit. This is very fragile, but I love the detail of the wagon, and of course it says the Oregon Trail on the side of the wagon. Of course there is a green computer-like 8-bit version as well to signify the poor graphics of the computer game in the late 80s, early 90s, but this is wonderful. Also the detail on the oxen, the 8-bit eyes, the horns, and of course we can just turn it around, and it also says the Oregon Trail on the other side. Let's take a look at the back. Also, it's, you know, very plain to a certain degree, but I think it's really more about the 8-bit nature of the pop that makes it so enduring and, of course, iconic. And, of course, the box itself, I think this may be the biggest Funko box that I actually own. I think this is bigger, at least wider than the comic cover boxes, and I also think it is, if not equal, then definitely larger than the Slam magazine cover. And of course, it's bigger than any of the other pop rides. It's bigger than any of the multi-packs that I have. No. I'm lying. This is not the biggest box that I have. The biggest box that I have is the Beatles 4-pack. Let me revise that and let me make that clear. So this is the second largest box in my Funko Pop collection. And I also love how it's got the computer background. See, there's the lake and there's the grass. This is great. It's right out of the computer game. So I am so glad to have all of these Funko Pops. So, you know, tune in next time and we'll definitely have our fall part 2 where we go into some creepy and ghoulish Halloween themes in any possible way that I personally can with my collection. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. Leave your comments in the box below. Let me know what some of your favorite things that Funko announced in August that you picked up for your collection. Let me know what you're looking forward to in September. Let me know if I missed anything. And more importantly, New York Comic Con is right around the corner, so we're going to be getting the announcements of those as well as Funko-ween. We already got some Funko-ween announcements, and it was Stranger Things, in case you didn't know. But in the meantime, everybody, I will see you in the next one. If you enjoyed the video you just watched, feel free to leave a comment. Also, feel free to subscribe if you want to be up to date with our latest videos. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we'll see you in the next one. Actions speak louder than words.